Greetings and congratulations from Touch History. I, Pervez Kamal, am trying to present the history of America based on true events, feeling the urge to inform the next generation. Before America was a nation, before a flag ever waved above a battlefield, there was a land shaped by ice, wind, and time. Imagine the world 15,000 years ago. Endless forests, ancient rivers carving their way through untouched wilderness, and small bands of humans crossing into a vast new continent. They were explorers, hunters, dreamers, ancestors of the native nations who would one day build cities of earth, councils of diplomacy, and cultures deeper than the roots of the oldest trees. For thousands of years, this land was not empty, it was alive. The Mississippians raised monumental mounds rivaling Egypt's pyramids. The Pueblo built cities in cliffs that seemed to touch the sky. The Haudenosaunee Confederacy created a democratic system that would later inspire parts of the U.S. Constitution. America's first chapters were not written in paper, but in stone, soil, and memory. Then, in the late 1400s, across the ocean, a different world was shifting. European kingdoms were racing for power, wealth, and discovery. And when their wooden ships finally touched the shores of the Americas, two worlds collided. It was a meeting filled with curiosity, misunderstanding, trade, and tragedy. Diseases swept through native populations. New ideas, goods, and conflict spread like wildfire. The future was beginning to take shape, but no one yet understood what this meeting would become. By the 1600s, European colonies appeared like scattered seeds. British, French, Spanish, Dutch, each trying to carve out their own piece of the continent. Life was harsh. Bitter winters, hunger, conflict with rival powers, and the brutal system of African slavery that would forever scar the nation's history. Yet in this chaos, a new identity slowly started to form. Colonists began to imagine themselves as something different. Not Europeans, not subjects, but something new. Then came a spark. A tax, a protest, a tea party tossed into the sea. The cry for freedom echoed from town squares to taverns to battlefields. The American Revolution was more than a war, it was an idea, a belief that ordinary people could shape their own destiny. Farmers, blacksmiths, enslaved men promised freedom for their service. Native allies pulled into foreign conflicts. All were caught in the storm. When the smoke cleared in 1783, a new nation stood, fragile but determined. The early United States was a country of contradictions, founded on ideals of liberty while millions remained enslaved, dreaming of unity while divided by region, economy, and identity. And yet it grew. Waves of immigrants arrived with nothing but hope. Frontier families pushed westward, often clashing violently with native nations. Cities rose, industries roared to life. The Mississippi carried goods, railroads connected coasts. America began to move with the heartbeat of ambition. But no growth comes without pain. By the mid-1800s, the nation was split between two visions of itself. One fighting to preserve slavery, the other fighting to end it. When Abraham Lincoln took office, the country tore itself in half. The Civil War became the bloodiest conflict ever fought on American soil. Brothers fought brothers. Towns became graves. Yet from this darkness came a turning point. Slavery ended, and the country was reborn, wounded but alive. As the nation healed, a new America emerged, fueled by factories, steel, inventions, and the boldness of a young industrial age. Immigrants built skyscrapers that scraped the clouds. Inventors tested machines that would shrink the world. Cars, light bulbs, telegraphs, everything was changing. Then came two world wars that would redefine America's place on the global stage. In trenches, deserts, jungles, and oceans, American soldiers fought far from home, and the U.S. emerged not just as a nation, but as a superpower. But the real battles were happening at home, too. The fight for civil rights reshaped the nation from the ground up. Martin Luther King Jr., Rosa Parks, Malcolm X, and millions of ordinary people, they stood up, marched, sat down, and spoke out until the world was forced to listen. America was rewriting its own story, demanding it live up to the promise written in its founding words. The decades that followed moved fast, too fast sometimes. The Cold War, the space race that put footprints on the moon, the rise of computers, the internet, smartphones, tool that connected the world in ways the Founding Fathers could never have imagined. Today, America is not one story, but millions of stories woven together. Triumph and struggle, innovation and inequality, dreams realized and dreams deferred. From the ancient mound builders to the digital pioneers, from revolutionaries with muskets to scientists with rockets, the story of America has never been simple. It is a story of contradictions, freedom and conflict, unity and division, justice and injustice. But it is also a story of reinvention. No matter how many times America has been challenged, broken, or shaken, it has found a way to rise, rebuild, and redefine itself. And that is what makes America's history not just a tale of the past, but a living, breathing journey that continues every day. The next chapter has not been written yet. It belongs to the people who dare to imagine what America can still become. Subscribe if you love this kind of historical storytelling. It's not just facts, it's feelings. Drop your current city and time in the comments. I love knowing history with true